Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy evening to join me. I really do appreciate it. And so, you know how they say, like, people look like their pets? You feel me? I kind of feel like I'm starting to look more like my cat, you know? That's kind of weird, though, right? Because he was, like, after me, so how would I start to look like him? I'm just saying that, we got like a tuxedo cat, and I just feel like with every week that goes by and I don't shave and I sort of am unable to recognize myself as I see glimpses sort of flash on the screen here, it's like, yeah, my face is, it's so white. You know, I never thought, like, when I was a kid that, like, before the age of 40, I would have a beard that, like, is straight up as white as Santa's. You feel me? Like, that's not what I had. Like, I didn't plan on that, you know? That wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, and so we're working with that. And in fact, it's those stupid, silly little things that, ironically, I want to point out that are like totally just not only trivial and irrelevant, but like stupid. You feel me? Those, like, the thing that I like to do here on this channel can arguably be construed as stupid. However, the underlying premise of all these vlogs and of me getting to know everyone and me making my life an absolute public show, you feel me, with no privacy at all, not just, I guess here now I have some, you feel me, and I just value it tremendously, but it's sort of like, I understand that I play on the fact that, I really don't think it's a tough sell to say that, like, ignorance is bliss type of thing, you feel me? And, like, the thing with that is that I try to try to bring humor in that sort of a way, right? While also, talking about some really deep underlying symptomatic issues that society is experiencing, you feel me? And so sort of like there's a different way that I like to talk about things. And I think moreover, I like to talk about these things in this character as I do every single night and as I have for well over a year now, just because not only am I dedicated, you feel me, and loyal to this cause, to our country, you feel me, to just like socialism in and of itself, that like I'm willing to do all those things. Like, I think it's like the very least of what a single person can pay, and ultimately hopefully at some point like have some receipts to show that like they've actually done some good in the world or whatever. And what I'm talking about is adulting. And I almost feel as if in the near future, I think a large part of my base for people that like I would like to join in onto the socialism cause, obviously, and stuff, are the people that like if you didn't know, now you know that like institutions literally offer adulting 101, and like that should be like an insult to not just like new parents, millennials and Xers, and quiet generation, the boomers and so forth, but moreover it should like serve as inspiration to like the alpha and the Z population, that like if you don't do things in a certain kind of a way, that like you're gonna end up with some really cyclical but very predictable kind of results that always almost yield the same kind of fascist bullshit that comes around every 100 years or so, in that uneducated people often literally, like, dare I say, breed the worst kinds of populations, in that like it really is easy to take advantage of a population that doesn't even know how to do their own laundry, you feel me, or like have proper decorum. And there's the thing too, right, is that like systematically, like, that's kind of like a weird thing to say, like decorum and but like not really, I mean, I think collectively we can all agree that secular or religion, there's a way to carry yourself in certain areas, you feel me? And I think that's regardless of that transcends the like the need to self-govern ourselves so that like we're decent, kind, and appropriate and amicable about shit amongst one another. I think that's those are like natural things to feel. You feel me? Like it's cool to like want to help out your neighbor and do these things, but like what's not cool is making people dumb, right? So that, like, for example, I am one of those dumbasses. You feel me? Like, and again, call it whatever you may call it, right? Like, I don't think it was the fault of my school that, like, I didn't know how to do laundry when I left my house after high school. You feel me? And I went into college and I was living in the dorms. You know, like, again, the internet wasn't as prevalent. You feel me? I guess I could have just asked. There's like a lot of things that you can do in life if you just like ask. You feel me? Again, like, 18-year-old Albert, 20 years ago now, like, yeah, I definitely have, would think to myself, like, now, right, like, oh shit, like, I should have just asked somebody, like, downstairs in the laundry room of DeVargas building at UNM, like how to wash clothes. I mean, I should have figured that it's pretty self-explanatory, that like pushing a button on a machine and throwing some soap in it wasn't like the most difficult thing to do. You feel me? But again, I didn't know about that. Like, I knew a little bit more about decorum and or manners or whatever, and I think a lot of that is because I was my family lived a very typical middle class life, fortunately for me, and that involved all the stereotypical Hispanic things that come along with that. And I'm very grateful for that. I would not have traded it for anything at all in the world. I just think that a lot of people didn't have that experience, and moreover, a lot of people are currently not having that same sort of experience. Moreover, not everyone went to, speech and debate camps and or, has studied communication their whole life. I mean, there are other things that young people haven't learned as a result of parents being irresponsible and not making it so that, like, your kid could be a part of a team, and that your child didn't feel so isolated, or it wasn't so hard for them to go up and make friends with a group of strangers. Again, because this is like literally 101 type of thing. You feel me? Like, making friends, being able to communicate with other people about your needs and expressing your thoughts and your emotions, and being able to be like a decent team member and to cooperate and to do team building and to have skills that develop leadership and things like this. I mean, again, essentially all foreign concepts for anybody that hasn't had the same kind of very privileged experience in that very formally educated kind of a way that random dumb asses like me have had. And so I get all that, and that's kind of just the thing, is that, like, I just am very concerned, that, like, if we don't do something pretty quickly, and that's kind of the other thing, which is not surprising, but always, in this context, a very good thing, that universities are offering these courses, and that, for the record, young people are taking by the truckload. You feel me? These courses are, like, popular. These courses are things that, like, old heads like us used to learn in home ec back in high school. Moreover, people like my parents and people that went to school, that, like, in the 80s and stuff, had access to vocational training. And there were, like, real auto body shops at school, that, like, some dude taught, like, how to fix cars and shit. You feel me? Like, that was a valuable trait to learn, like, you could actually apply that. There were, I'm sure, a number of instances where people that received public education in that more sort of vocational kind of leaning way have lived very successful lives. I mean, you can Google this data, but one of the highest paying professions, if not the highest paying profession in any industry, is a plumber, the HVAC guys, the trades, and that's something that was pushed when, like, educators actually, like, gave two F's about, what was going on. But I mean, I don't say that because there have been obviously instances where that has happened, but that wouldn't, you know, I'd be lying if I said that again happened to like me in my own individual experience, because it didn't. You know, we always had the support of you know, the public school like administrative people to get things done that needed to be done in lower areas of education and stuff. And I think that was an interesting thing, you know. But I just, adulting 101, and link in the description below, because obviously, you know, this particular talk was inspired by this video that I seen earlier that talked about Disney adults, and that's like a whole different thing, you feel me? And I don't think there's really anything in and of itself wrong with being like a Disney adult, or like doing, you know, kid shit when you're a grown up. I mean, like buying toys, or, you know, collecting Pokemon cards, or playing Dungeons and Dragons, you know, whatever it is that literal grown ass people do that arguably only children should do, I guess, I mean, in that way, you feel me? You know, is something that, like, I don't particularly scoff at, you know. It's just like, at the same time, you know, we need to be educated, you feel me? Like, we need to be actual adults that, like, actually care about, you know, the state of the world, and like you know, more about who we're electing to be president than, like, you know, what the more, like, the most recent valuation of Charizard is, you know. Like, I just, priorities, people, and that's what I'm saying. But like, who can blame anybody other than ourselves, right? At the end of the day, I mean, you know, we could, I guess, specifically look at our parents and grandparents and, you know, sort of ask like what happened, but I don't think they'd be of any help. And I don't think, moreover, that it would be wise to do that, only because we still, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, need their, you know, participation in the system that ultimately, you know, definitely change. But adulting 101, interesting stuff, you feel me? Interesting stuff. Like, I find some value in it, and I think that I'm a fan at the end of the day. And I think that it's unfortunate that you know, secondary education hasn't been supported in the kind of a way that it should be supported, you know, and that Bill Gates has single-handedly destroyed public education for every student here in the United States of America. And I gotta tell you, that's a remarkable thing, you feel me? Mr. Gates, you're an asshole. And I say this just because you know, I could provide irrefutable empirical evidence to you know, to like help get my claim across here. But it is because of that man, single-handedly, again, and I won't blame Melinda, right? Just because she divorced his ass, and there probably wasn't anything smarter in the world to do. So, you know, I guess, anyways, yeah, Mr. Gates, you're an asshole, and you've single-handedly destroyed, you know, literally every opportunity that could potentially have been befallen on any public education student here in the United States of America. What needs to happen is some serious education reform, and you know, just I think that's just what needs to happen. You know, the division between charter schools, public schools, and private schools, I can assure everyone watching this video, will only lead to more systemic and exploitative kinds of fascist behavior. So I guess if that's what we're shooting for, let's continue to go down this road, and instead, you know, Bill Gates, he's not an asshole, you know. He's I'm in character. Friendly reminder, you know, I'm just he's a good guy, right? Good guy. Thanks for helping solve the AIDS crisis, or whatever it is that you're doing now, sir. We really appreciate your help. All right, so hey guys, I really appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you very, very much. You feel me? Definitely check out the video and the link in the description. There's like a real good deep dive into, you know, just like the impact of in a negative way of being a Disney adult or whatever, and I think that's interesting. Have we gone out of character twice here? I'm not sure. I wasn't even planning on making this video for the record, and then I was like, alright, I gotta talk about it, just because if I don't, I'll forget about it in the morning, and then I'll hate myself for, you know, 20 minutes, because I can't think of what it is that I'd wanted to talk about. I don't know what it is I'm gonna do tonight. Literally, I gotta figure out what tonight is. I think I have a suspicious feeling that it's still only Thursday. I don't know what, like, my concern is either, like, recently over, like, the date and stuff. I'm just like, what's the date? You know, what's the day of the week or whatever? But it was just because it was a long week at the beginning of the week, and that just kind of threw everything off on my internal clock here, you know. But I'm working on it, and every day it gets a little better, so that's good. And yeah, I hope that everything is going well out there for you guys. I just am been I you know, like, I think about candy all the time still, so that's what I got going on, and there is an incredible urge. Like, I just, we got some sodas recently, like some Mountain Dew, and I feel bad every time I drink one, but I can't help it. But then I also tell my roommate, I would tell him, I'm like, dude, I can't be sodas around because like we're just gonna drink them, and it's I don't wish to consume 6 to 8 soda pops a day, which is something I could easily do given an opportunity, right? And it's just like I don't want to do it. So I guess that's what I've been thinking about a lot, and also I've been having nightmares of Christmas tree cakes, literal nightmares, so like just even a couple weeks ago, just even last week, you could have asked this guy right here. I would have been like, Christmas tree cakes are the best thing in the world, like literally this is something that a part of my like meaningful little life, like that's what I look forward to, like, no cap, like for about I don't know, 30 years now or so. Every year I'm that faithful little guy at the grocery store waiting for those Little Debbie Christmas themed boxes to come out so that I can consume my little booty off, you feel me? But I happened to stumble upon this video where the guy dissected, all the ingredients and everything. And I try to stay away from those videos low key just because, like, I already know that, I don't want to know. And so that sort of like ignorance is bliss thing sort of comes full circle. And I'm just sort of like, no, I don't want to, in my gleeful mind, I'm thinking that it's food, you feel me, that like at the very core of what I'm consuming is food. But I was wrong, I was dead wrong. And shout out to Little Debbie for successfully scamming my ass for thousands of dollars over the course of my life. I mean, Jesus Christ, like at some point in your life you're like, man, yeah, I guess Campbell's and Little Debbie have, I guess I would have been better just to, like, hand them my money, you feel me? And then, like, effed off and, found something better to do with my time. That was, like, potentially more destructive because I was still not fed, but arguably way more beneficial to me in the long run than spending money on empty calories that literally, like, Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes aren't even, it isn't even food. Like, it would surprise you how many things that you think are food are not food. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, it's like a concoction of ingredients, like sometimes in a literal, beaker. Like, I'm not joking about this shit. And you can believe it or not. It's just I guess it's rice and beans and tacos for this guy forever, you know what I mean? I can't think of anything else that's an actual food. So by God, I'll be looking for that food, you feel me? So far as I'm alive, I guess I'll be looking for that food. Just because anywhere you'd think you'd be able to find it, you do not, you know what I mean? You don't. And again, shout out to all the lab guys out there making sure that the world is still starving and that the world that is fed is being fed some kind of version of food that I'm telling y'all isn't food. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show, okay? Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk really soon, I'm sure. Bye.